we've reinvested it right back because we're looking to grow as quickly as is prudently possible, right? So we made this decision early on that, hey, what's more important to us right now? Cash or growth? What are we solving for? Cash payouts or increasing the value of the company and the buying power of the company and the dominance of the company? And of course, it's the latter for us. It's the dominance and the power and the size and the capability and the total net worth of the company. So for that reason, I mean, we've reimbursed ourselves certainly for any expenses that we initially took on before the entity had cash flow prior to our first acquisition. You know, I take a fair salary out of the business. I'm certainly not living under a bridge, but you know, I don't live. I'm not posting pictures of Lamborghinis or Ferraris on Instagram. You can find a picture of a new pickup I got, but it's a damn Toyota pickup. The thing's going to run to have 500,000 miles. I share a bit of that Buffett-like mentality as it relates to not chasing everything that glitters, thinking that it's gold. The real gold, in our opinion, is in growing our market share, period. And so that means for us, we want to look as strong and as healthy on the balance sheet as possible. And the retention of cash is obviously a way to improve your position on your balance sheet, as is, of course, reinvesting your cash wisely into growing your respective business, right? So for example, with the two subsequent acquisitions that we made, the two HVAC acquisitions we made here 2 months ago, our parent company owns 100% of the shares of those two companies. Whereas the first acquisition we made with Brighter Utilities, the parent company still owns the majority of the shares, the considerably, basically the vast majority of the shares, but not all of the shares, right? What changed? Well, we have more cash, right? We didn't actually directly use our cash to buy the company, but we indirectly used our cash in knowing that we needed less working capital because we already had working capital. We already had cash to play with. So for us, it's been all about reinvestment, growing our purchasing power, buying trucks, ensuring we have sufficient working capital to grow. I mean, one thing most people who don't run a business, and certainly if you've never ran a business with 5 figures in weekly payroll, certainly when it becomes multiple 5 figures in weekly payroll, one thing you don't think about is how much cash it takes to run your business. I don't want to say a precise number, in part for confidentiality reasons and in part just because it's a moving target, but it's no small cost that our business requires just to operate in a given week. I mean, it's a seriously large amount of money. I mean, the kind of amount of money that would bankrupt almost any person in a short amount of time if they were suddenly burdened with having to carry that kind of expense. I mean, almost anyone watching this publicly, unless if you have 7 figures put away, let's just put it this way, you'd personally go BK, bankrupt, and if you made it a month, you're pretty well off. And that's not a brag on us. It's more of just a reality of the cost of doing business, something people don't think about, but it's sincere and it's real. So if you already have that base amount of cost that is required to run a business, and that number is substantial, let's just call it multiple 5 figures a week, not a month, a week. Okay, great. It costs multiple 5 figures, and that's being conservative, a week to operate your business. Okay. And then you want to grow your business. And you want to grow, let's just say, like for us, quite aggressively. You want to do 3 deals in a given year. Well, if those are truly your ambitions, then you're going to need a lot of cash. And you're not in taking that cash out to buy Lamborghinis and stuff does not help fulfill that pursuit. Now, you could partner with the big private equity firm and let them put up the cash, and that would be a solution. but it comes at a major cost. That cost being that you lose the majority of the control of your business, right? I am the majority holder of the businesses that I'm involved in. And so ultimately I have the final say. And that is a comforting feeling so that you can guide the future of your business without being beholden to someone, right? Or without being quote unquote bought and paid for. It's almost like a lot of our politicians. There's lobbyists that by and large buy and pay them so that they can get these legislators to legislate in a way that favors the lobbyist and favors the client of the lobbyist, right? If a private equity firm comes in and ultimately takes control of your business in exchange for a lot of cash, sure, you may have a lot of cash. You may be able to pay yourself more. You may be able to go get yourself the real fancy car. But in exchange for doing that, you ostensibly and almost certainly lose the ability to control the future destiny of your business. So for us, we've been very prudent with our cash. Our whole goal is to grow a very, 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 very successful business that, yes, is worth a tremendous amount of money, but more importantly than that, I'm here to win. And in my opinion, the way you just truly win in business is by shrewdly investing your capital in the places that will yield the best return on investment. Cash is trash. I mean, we just talked about how much inflation has undermined our purchasing power as consumers and as business owners. So what's the point of taking cash out? In my mind, you literally, depending on what you're buying, lost between 5 to maybe even 55% of your purchasing power like that. As a certain someone says, cash is trash. Well, it's not trash. It's actually the lifeblood of your business. But hoarding on to cash, holding and storing cash, that is a trashy idea if it's not for a larger pursuit, a strategic pursuit, in my opinion. So yeah, that's our overarching capital plan. It's all about reinvestment. And oh, by the way, one other thing, and I can say this because it's true, as everything I say here it is true, and everything I say is true, but this is something I feel very happy about. That's why I emphasize it. We've added a lot of really awesome benefits for our people. We added PTO, paid time off, something they didn't have before. We now pay for their vision and their dental insurance, something that prior that got taken out of their paychecks. We've given a lot of the core people at our business raises, whether it's in the form of salaries or increased hourly wages. We have treated our people as well as we've possibly been able to. And that's something I can say hand on heart. We've treated our people well, and we've done that for two reasons. One, because it's good for business, and two, because we appreciate what they do for us and for me. So it's been the natural, logical conclusion, the natural thing to do. So yeah, that's what we've done with our excess cash. We've reinvested it back into growing the business, and we've reinvested it back into our people. That's a great point too about the fact that, yes, you're darn right, you pay taxes on dividends. You pay taxes on earnings. Well, if you reinvest all your capital back into the business, what do you show less of? You show less earnings. So by definition, you pay less in taxes. Look, I could say a lot of negative things about our government, the United States federal government, but there are certain tax codes that make a lot of sense. And if you pay attention to the tax codes, one of the things you'll notice is you get benefits from doing things like reinvesting into your business. You get benefits from providing housing, for being an employer, for providing jobs. Yeah, I mean, look, you get treated more preferentially from a taxing perspective if you reinvest back into your business. And so that's something that's not the reason we do it, but it certainly is an added benefit to reinvesting back into our business.